Hello and welcome to the Evercade Retreat. Gene Joke here, and it's Evercade news time. Potentially not so well, it isn't really good news really. There's not really an upshot of this, although your opinion on this might differ from mine. Blaze have announced some new legacy carts. Legacy carts are carts that are no longer in production and cannot be reproduced. So get them while you can, because based on what's happened with the prices of other legacy carts, the prices on these could shoot up thanks to scalpers. So the current legacy carts, as in the ones that are already legacy and harder to get hold of, are Atari Collections 1 and 2, Namco Collection 1 and 2, Pico Collection 1, Technos Collection 1, the Oliver Twins Collection, Atari Lynx Collections 1 and 2, Technos Arcade 1 and Atari Arcade Collection 1. So joining the ranks of legacy carts are Pico Interactive Collection 2, Indie Heroes Collection 1, Mega Cat Studios Collection 2, and the Sydney Hunter Collection. So if you're wondering why cartridges go legacy, well, a large part of it all comes down to licensing. When these cartridges are produced, Blaze enter a deal with the publishers, often for a fixed term, and once that term is up, it will need to be renegotiated. Now, while I'm sure the exact of the deals will vary from publisher to publisher, even down to the duration of such deals, I think it's safe to say that when things come up for renegotiation, a lot is going to come down to the cost of re-upping that license. Who knows how the market has changed? But on top of that, the publishers' policies might have changed. They might not be interested in licensing at all, or maybe they've seen extra value in some of these properties, or maybe they want to do something else with them entirely. The other aspect is how much does Blaze want to pay to relicense these things. I think it's safe to assume that when these carts are released, the majority of their sales come in the first 30 days of release. If a cart is popular enough and keeps on selling, then it's an easy decision for Blaze to reprint them and keep going. But what if sales slow and the cost of re-upping the license is, well, a bit too steep for their projected sales? Well, if that's the case, it's going to be bye-bye for that cart. I mean, sure, they could just produce thousands and thousands of copies of that cartridge before the license expires, but if they don't shift them, well, that's just wasted space and dead money. So while I suspect there will be a production run of these carts before the go legacy come December, I don't imagine there'll be huge quantities. So if you want them, I would get hold of them as soon as possible. When the Codemasters collection was announced to go legacy, there was definitely a production run of that, but it was still sold out in no time. Looking at these individual carts, I'm going to try and work out why these ones have gone legacy. Now, Pico Interactive Collection 2 is very simple. This one is licensing. Pico no longer own the rights to all the games on the collection. They're not in a position to re-up that license. It's simply impossible, so this one is gone and gone forever, just like Pico Collection 1. The games in question are the basketball games, the Joe Hoops games, as they are now owned by Atari. As for whether you should pick up this cart at the earliest convenience, well, obviously that's entirely down to your taste and whether you think it's worthwhile. It is a collection with a sort of limited appeal. If you're not into sports games, probably don't bother getting it. That said, it does have Top Racer 2 on it, which is a fantastic game and is arguably the best racing game on the Evercade. I know the game Soccer Kid has its fans, and there's a couple of other fun games on there, but many of them are not so good. Anyway, let's have a look at the next legacy cart, which is Indie Heroes Collection 1. Now, I can only speculate as to why this one might be going legacy, but with these indie games, many of them, well, majority of them are developed by different indie publishers or developers. And if one or two of these games has signed on to another publisher, or there's some other deal involving a specific game, well, that could simply be the reason, because all it takes is for one game to no longer be available and they can't re-up the licensing. To answer the question as to whether you should pick this one up, personally I would say yes. It has a good quantity of games and a few are of genuinely good quality. Not everything hits the mark, and not everything might be to your taste, but yeah, I think there's enough quality here to be worth checking out. Okay, the next of the legacy carts to go through is Mega Cat Studios Collection 2, and the reasoning for this one going legacy, again, I can only speculate, but the licensing, while primarily would be through Mega Cat Studios, as they are a publisher and developer, but not all of the games here are developed by Mega Cat themselves. So if they no longer publish these games, or some of these games, then that would explain the legacy status. But again, I don't know if this is the case. But is it worth picking up if you don't have it? Possibly. Now, I actually really like the collection. It's one I tend to take with me when I'm travelling and playing handheld. Almost all of the games included are ideal for this. But I can see that it might not be to everyone's taste. If you're more of an arcade action style person, then lots of puzzle games probably aren't going to be your jam. And the final collection going legacy is the Sydney Hunter collection. As these are all published by CollectorVision, I'd assume this is an all or nothing collection. I don't think any specific game would likely have caused it to go legacy. So I'd assume this one is pretty much a case of either Blaze or CollectorVision didn't want to re-up it. Now, as to whether you should pick this one up, unless you're a full setter or want to get a full set, then this might be one to pass on. It's not because any of the games here are bad, they're all fine in their own right, but there's nothing amazing and most of them are fairly short games. It doesn't have much replay value and you can see everything this cart has to offer in one evening. It's one that I see often referred to as one of the worst of the Evercade collections. But that said, if it has any interest for you, it might be worth picking up now, because while I don't think any Evercade collection is worth paying over the odds for, this one with its limited selection of games and gameplay hours really wouldn't be worth paying something like 80 or 90 quid for. Well, that's all of the newly announced legacy carts covered. As mentioned, they become legacy from December, so production runs will probably happen between now and then. Just don't expect stocks to last all that long, because if you don't snap them up, then the chances are scalpers will, in an effort to gouge you for money later on when the FOMO is hit. Well, I think that's pretty much it for news today. There's not much else to cover in this video, so thank you for watching and I'll see you on the next one.